It's hard to believe, but here we are. 12 months since the Deep Dive podcast first launched back in June 2024. What started as a simple idea to create a space where autistic and neurodivergent voices could be heard without filter, without apology, has grown into something so much bigger. Over this past year, we've had honest, raw, and thoughtful conversations about neurodivergence, disability, burnout, inclusion, mental health, and the complex ways our identities shape how we move throughout the world. From our very first episode, the mission was clear: to go deeper than the headlines, beyond the surface conversations, and really explore the lived experience. The messy, beautiful, complicated reality of being human, especially when you're moving through life a little bit differently. Since then, we've had the privilege of speaking with parents, professionals, advocates, clinicians, educators, entrepreneurs, and everyday people who share one thing in common: a commitment to making the world a more accepting, accessible, and inclusive place. Together, we've tackled big topics such as autistic burnout, education, work, relationships, advocacy, and the often invisible labour of navigating systems not built for us. Through it all, what stood out most isn't just the conversations, it's the community. The people who tune in, comment, share, and show up. The people who say, finally, somebody gets it. That's why we keep showing up, even when the algorithms get in the way and the systems are up against us. Even when the world feels heavy, because connection matters, stories matter, and representation matters. So today, as we mark 1 year of the Deep Dive podcast, I want to say thank you to every guest who's shared their truth with us, to every listener who carried these stories with them, to everyone who's shared their stories via our social platforms and who's believed in this project from day one and helped us to keep going. We've only just getting started. There's so much more to say. There's so many stories worth sharing, so much more to learn, so much more to uncover. Welcome to the first anniversary episode of the Deep Dive podcast. Let's dive in.
Looking for authentic conversations that go beneath the surface? Tune in now to the Deep Dive podcast. Visit us at www.deepdiveau.net. That's deepdiveau.net. And follow us across your favorite platforms: YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook. Just search at the Deep Dive AU. Join us as we dive deep into stories of neurodivergence, lived experience, and creating a more inclusive world. The Deep Dive Podcast. Conversations that matter. Stories that connect.
This is the Deep Dive Podcast. And here is your host, Michael Coles.
So we asked all our guests the same 4 questions. The first question was, how has the episode benefited you since it got released?
I've had some great feedback from my followers, just liking to hear about personal stories and the things I spoke about, I suppose. I think it's really important for all of us. I mean, everyone has a story, but those of us who have something to share, I really believe in the power of storytelling, whether it's through a medium like this or through something else, because we can all benefit from hearing about other people and other people's experiences. It helps us to get outside of our little echo chamber and bubble of existence.
I think for me, the benefits are often probably invisible to others, but visible to me. Every time I share my burnout experience, it really helps me in terms of my recovery. But my hope is that it has helped others hear that story as well. So I love getting on podcasts like this and going out, virtually into community to share. So I hope that it has helped others to hear my story. Certainly has helped me.
I think it just really improved my confidence to get my message out there, both from a nutritionist point of view and like a personal lived experience point of view, and really helped to some of my family members who didn't know certain parts of my story or about ARFID and sensory sensitivities, gave them sort of that insight to understanding some of my challenges.
I think in terms of having knowledge out there about relationships, that's been fabulous. And I'm really so happy to support anything that's about neurodivergence. And I've also noticed that I've been able to network with other members of the neurodivergent community, which is really lovely.
It has made me a lot more comfortable in sharing my story. I think over the last year and a bit, it's been one of the things I've been wanting to share my story and share how I'm still running both of my businesses successfully. But after doing the podcast, so many people reached out to me to say how much they resonated and how much they really loved learning about how you can do things with less time while dealing with your own wellness. And it was really wonderful. So it's made me more comfortable.
Um, that's an excellent question. I think it gave me permission to talk a little bit more openly about my life and I guess the situation that I am in, working in online business and as a woman raising a child. It's a very glamorized, online, Instagram worthy kind of world that I'm part of. And most entrepreneurs or female entrepreneurs have this very glossy veneer and make it look like they can do everything so easily. And being able to talk about the other side, that that not all of us have that luxury, that we do run businesses and that we are capable of running businesses and raising children even with our neurodiversity, and having that conversation with you and being able to share that's actually been really rewarding. And I've had people reach out and say, like, thank you so much for sharing that. I don't feel like such a failure right now because I can't work a 7-figure CEO job, or because I, have had to change things up for my kids' needs.
I think how it's benefited me is just getting that awareness out there, getting some increased awareness around how to have the conversation. Really, so benefiting me is probably it's hopefully benefit other people as well, and giving them some skills and strategies on how to support others who might be struggling with their mental health.
I think the feedback that I got was that people felt like it gave them a really good insight into the AMPA, and I think it was kind of relatable. So, yeah, I think it went down really well. I think it sort of just gave people a bit more information, and because it was a bit more long form. Like they were able to sort of plug into the meat of what AMPA is about. So, yeah, it was good.
I feel like since seeing my episode and then connecting with you on socials a bit more, and honestly, this isn't probably a benefit for me, but just being able to see how you've grown in a way. Like I've seen how you've connected in various social medias and TikTok and LinkedIn, and I see your name pop up and how you're connecting within this little niche community as well, which is fabulous because I know everything was still new. But it's also, I guess for me, it shows that we're on the right path and, we're doing awesome stuff, which is great. So, yeah.
I think it was a confidence booster. I like being able to talk to somebody else with similar experiences and being able to talk about advocacy. It was a good experience being able to talk with you. I really enjoyed talking with you and getting the word out there of the importance of doing the things we do. I really enjoyed that.
What are your biggest achievements since your episode aired?
Oh, good question. A lot. It's been busy. Well, since the episode aired, the NDIS bill passed, so we've been working really, really hard on that. Me personally, I have sustained my mental health through intense school for my kids, so that's a huge achievement. While still running AMPA, I decided to take time off law to focus on AMPA, which has been really good because it has meant I am more available to the community to really focus on all the stuff that's happening right now, which is such an intense time. So honestly, I feel like parenting and just staying really focused on AMPA and just grinding away every day, getting stuff done. So rather than being one big achievement, I think it's just that every day is an achievement. The fact that we're consistently getting good work done and building relationships. We've built some really good working relationships, and we've started to breakthrough, and people are starting to want to collaborate with us more now that we're not so new. So I think that's a big achievement, because those relationships are hard. They're hard to forge. So yeah.
First, probably I've gone through more than a year of running a business full time, and people say the year's the hardest to get through. So but things have just been getting busier and busier, which there's a lot of need out there for people learning these skills. So achievement for me is getting more and more clients, and then at the end of the day, we can help more and more people and educate them, really.
Ooh, I think one of my biggest achievements was being a guest speaker for my friend who ran this kind of healing circle, and I got to tell my story for basically an hour, and people were really invested and really kind with their feedback, and then asking me some really thoughtful questions at the end. So I guess just improving that public speaking kind of confidence and being confident in sharing my story and that it has value and relatability to others.
There's been a lot happening here at the Growth Manager, but I would say my favorite thing was something I just finished 2 weeks ago, where I went up to Emerald with the mentoring program that I volunteer with, Mentoring for Growth. And I was able to do a workshop and meet with a whole heap of small business owners in Emerald, which, when you're in rural area, it can be a bit difficult to get support. So that was really wonderful to be able to meet them and support them in that way.
My biggest achievement is staying in business for myself. And I also just being able to create a work life that brings me enough balance, because it certainly didn't previously. And also I've honed into focusing on midlife women in burnout in my business. So that's been a shift, but a huge, I see it as an achievement because I'm a midlife woman, so really interested in that area.
Behind the scenes, I don't think we talked about it. I've been writing a book. So my book is about ready to come out. I just thought I'd show you actually. That's the first proof. So it's on the way, all about healthy relationships and dating.
I finally finished my book. So that was exciting, the book I was writing. So I finally finished that, and it is with a editor at the moment being polished up and a proposal being written up. So hopefully we can shop it to some agents and get it published. So fingers crossed. The ABCs of ASD.
It's going to sound strange, but I've been really boring and a complete hermit. I've been doing a lot of research with the university. So my life has been gym, research, sleep, repeat. So there have been no big achievements. I suppose I was fortunate to do some really cool stuff in the years prior. But since my episode aired, I've just been sitting in front of my computer with my big earphones on, listening to research papers and writing and drinking lots of coffee and hanging out with my dog and my husband on weekends. There hasn't really been a lot else. So I sound very boring.
I have grown exponentially, which is fabulous. I have put on, I want to say 3 contractors now. So 3 subcontractors are working with me, which has meant I have been able to open my capacity. So I've been able to meet some awesome people, help out a bit more as much as I can in the current NDIS climate. I've been a finalist in a few different business awards and been to a couple of the awards ceremony dinners, which has been fun. And I've been to the Yellow Ladybugs twice now, which is fabulous. And just connecting with the neurokin in this space, it's just been, I'm unmasking in a more safe space. So it's been really cool. It's been good.
I've been able to do some more music performances, which is wonderful. I performed at a local music festival. I performed at a pub gig, and something else that's in the works that I don't know how public I'm meant to be making it. They haven't told me to be quiet about it, but I've been offered a place. We're talking about getting me on the human rights advisory board or advisory committee of a particular organization, and we're still ironing out the details, but this is a committee that gets to speak to government, that gets to make real changes. So that is very, very exciting. Very exciting.
What is your favorite episode of the Deep Dive podcast?
I really liked Ange's one, Ange MacArthur. But I'm biased because Ange is a friend. So I don't think that's fair. But I really liked Ange's episode. Because, I mean, Ange is just a really nice person and super relatable. And I'm always really interested in hearing about the work that support coordinators do because it's so important and interesting. And I know that Ange is like so passionate about her work. Yeah, so it was like really nice to hear more, I guess, about Ange and get to know her a bit more through that. I feel like I haven't actually talked to her in ages, but she's a great person, so I really liked her episode.
Mine has to be your episode with Angie Martin not long ago, running a business on 12 hours. I know Angie, and I'm a fellow business mentor as well as she is. And so listening to that and just hearing the incredible work that she's doing, but also in the limited hours and the capacity and getting tips on how to run a business, I found that really beneficial. It was great.
I think so far mine is actually episode 5 with Steph Robertson. I just really liked a lot of the things she said, and especially about there being like 3 types of occupation, being like productivity, I think it was productivity, self-care, and then leisure, because I think often I think of like self-care and leisure together, and it's like, no, they're actually very different things, and we need to try and make time and save energy for each of them as well.
I am. So I have two favorite ones. My all-time favorite one is with Shannon with the Burnout to Wellness episode. It's something that I really resonate with and something I've been through as well. And I think I've actually listened to that one a couple times. And then I also love Kate Webb's Promoting Health as a Neurodivergent Person. I think the conversation you guys had was really helpful in explaining how you can still promote your health and prioritize your health while working with everything else that's going on. They really just feel very personal to me and help me get really inspired.
I'm a little guilty from being a person who's not, I do podcasts, but I don't listen to podcasts. I'm just starting to get into it. I'm more of a book documentary kind of woman. But my favorite podcast episode was actually, Michael, when you came on and shared your autism burnout story on my podcast. So that's one of my faves, and was a fave of my audience. But I also love keeping in touch with your work of the Deep Dive podcast on your social media. So I love the snippets that I see of the conversations you've had with many of your guests.
I would have to say you had my colleague Lil on, and Lil's a fabulous source of information about relationships, sex, intimacy in the neurodivergent space. So I love her work.
Besides my own, I have to say Amanda's on talking about like the importance of being your authentic self. I think, especially as women, unmasking is a huge part of being neurodivergent, and so like listening to her advice on owning your authentic self, that's something that aligns really deeply with me. So that was a great one.
Oh, I could be really silly and say my own, but no, I've really enjoyed all of them, finding out a bit more about all of your guests, and I can't think of one that comes to mind at the moment. I think it was about the 5th one. But they've all been really good. It's always good to take that, no pun intended, deeper dive and learn more about people than just what's on the surface and what you see in like an Instagram profile or read in the paper or that sort of thing.
I know you did one with Steph Robertson from, SGR Occupational Therapy. I love Steph, and I know that was I think you interviewed Steph not long after me, or it was only recently. But anyway, I've been talking to Steph for a while, and finally met at Yellow Ladybugs, even though it kind of just felt like we'd known each other forever. But that was a good one. I still need to allocate so much time to actually sitting and having some time to listen to all these podcasts I've been following, because, I mean, things have just been so chaotic in this space at the moment. I haven't had a chance to actually devote that time, but it is on my radar, and I'm keen to catch up.
Well, about a year ago, you spoke to a young musician called Kitty Beach. That was really fascinating for me. I really enjoyed when you talked to Kitty, especially seeing a young musician who is neurodivergent, who is LGBT. It gave me hope because I get quite cynical sometimes. But seeing somebody young who is very much owning their identity as neurodivergent identity, atypical identity when with regards to gender and sexuality, and being in those intersectional communities, it made me feel like that the future is in better hands than I think we give it credit for sometimes. So I really enjoyed that.
What are your future plans and aspirations?
Survive at this point, but I think I have enrolled to do my Bachelor of Social Work, which I've deferred till next year just because there's just so much going on. I'm hoping to keep expanding. I'm looking to put on another experienced support coordinator or PRC when I find the right fit, and maybe another person to train up, and hoping to grow to the point where I can long term have a little hub, I guess, probably in Victoria, New South Wales, and just keep building on this neurodiversity affirming space.
At the moment, a lot of the same. So I'm going to be stuck at home. I enjoy the research I'm doing and the work I'm doing. Keep doing this research. I'll just be at the computer all day writing and researching, and but my future aspirations are to take that research and implement it, so it can be more useful and affect policy and things like that. So work with government a bit more.
It's obviously like still writing, still working with my copy clients, and really focusing on helping those people, neurodivergence or people with other learning disorders, where they struggle to get their words out. Brilliantly creative people, but need help getting their words out. But at the same time, just doing more work around raising a bit more awareness for the struggles that us mums face. We're neurodivergent or neurotypical and raising neurodivergent children. I feel that we're kind of like this group that's forgotten about, and I talk to so many mums in my position, and we're all struggling, and we feel quite alone. So I'm really working on building more community, more awareness, and more resources to help those people.
To really keep writing, that's really important to me, to talk more about neurodivergent relationships and couples. I'm going on my own journey with neurodivergence, my own recent diagnosis, and so bringing all my learning into that space to keep doing this work.
Well, a lot of my future plans are around my personal life and outside. I vision a nomadic lifestyle, so really building my business to be able to do that. So my family and I, my husband and 2 dogs, have lots of plans in moving into that kind of lifestyle. So hopefully, cross fingers, that will happen. But professionally, moving into this midlife space and really helping women who certainly burn out a lot in this era of life due to many reasons. So just looking forward to that future becoming a reality.
Oh, there's so many. There's so many happening right now, but what I'm currently working on is scaling my growth guide aspect of my business, because as I mentioned in my last episode with you, I have limited amount of time that I can actually mentor my clients and make an impact one-on-one. And so I'm in the midst right now working with my team to streamline and really perfect all of the templates we have available and kind of master classes we have available to help people on an ongoing space within times that suit them best, so that they might not get one-on-one sessions with me, but they'll still get me to train them on how to do the things to make more of an impact and support more business owners.
Oh, I have so many. I'm launching my first group program next week, so to try and help people and support them on a kind of day-to-day basis. And I think that's sort of the direction I want to take my clinic in, whether that's like group settings or people just having access to me in between appointments, because I feel there can be like little challenges or little things you need support with, and it's really difficult if you only have access to your health professional like every 2 weeks or every month or so, when sometimes you just have like a little yes or no question that they could answer really quickly. And also just to help people build those habits and supports. It's one thing to kind of guide them in the direction they need to be going, but it really needs to be adapted to their lifestyle and their capacity, and figuring that out day to day as challenges arise.
For my business, probably expanding and seeing how we can continue to expand probably our service offerings and our product offerings around how can we provide that education to more and more people. So things like online education, micro-learning trainings, and a lot of that, which make it a lot more accessible, especially to people in regional areas and areas where it's hard to access some of this training that I do. So really trying to expand and get out into those areas, as well as male-dominated industries, because there's a really big need there too.
Oh, that is a big question. Well, I think a huge aspiration is for us to remain independent. So currently, AMPA, we are an independent DPRO. We don't take any government funding. We're not sponsored by anyone. That has some severe limitations. It's hard not having money to do things. Like, people who work for the other DPROs can like get on a plane and fly to this conference and that conference because they have the millions of dollars worth of funding. We don't have that. But I think the benefit of being independent and maintaining that independence is that we have a very clear voice and our members really trust us. And I would say we have I feel very proud of AMPA, and I feel we have a warm relationship with a lot of our members that come to meetings, and I feel like it's a really supportive space. So because we're not having to worry about that, it means we can be all about the grassroots and the people power. So that is a big aspiration, is to maintain the independence. And I would really like to grow our podcast. But the biggest thing at the moment is I would really like to push forward for the community, especially for children, on foundational supports, and be really like leaders in that space, advocating for what kids need, because it's a bit of a hard time in the community. So that's a big aspiration, I guess, is just keep being there for people.
More music. I'm hoping to record an album at home. There's a local studio who is building a wheelchair accessible studio, but that's a little bit behind schedule. And so I thought I can't wait. So I'm just going to record some stuff at home and hopefully get an album out before the end of the year.
Thank you so much for being part of the Deep Dive Podcast 1 year anniversary special today.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you next year.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so thrilled to see what comes up over the next year for you, and just love what you're doing.
No worries. Thanks, Michael, and congratulations. And hopefully a great second year as well.
No worries. Congratulations. It's a big achievement.
Thanks, Michael. Great to be here.
Congrats. Thank you.
Yay. Well done to you. And it's so cool. It's such a great achievement. And I know we're all very happy for you. So, yeah, you.
Well, thank you, and congrats on 1 year.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for everything you do. You're a wonder.
Thank you to everyone that participated in our first year anniversary special. We shall return with new episodes starting on the 23rd of July.